When you played in the NFL, you folks are kind of known as for having style. Like, good clothes. You know what's hot. Would you say that NFL players are some of the most stylish athletes in the world?
I'd agree.
I would agree. Screw you, Ronaldo, and your little football game over there. No. So let me ask you a question. Is this shirt I'm wearing right now stylish?
It's very stylish. How about my shirt?
Your shirt is also very stylish. It's classic. It's blue and gold. You can watch us talk about this on YouTube. But when I wear this shirt, sometimes I think it looks so authentic that I'm waiting for somebody at the gym to go, "Hey, did you play football at West Virginia?" And I'll say, "Yes. My name is Steve Slaton. I almost won the Heisman, and then I played in the NFL, and now I live in LA and make podcasts." Can you believe it? Tell the people, why should they go to the book exchange? What are we offering?
25% off, which is damn near free. Can't beat it.
And all they have to do is give one code.
Burning Couch. Simple and easy.
Burning Couch. 25% off. Tell them you're Steve Slaton when you walk in.
You might get it for free for real.
And we are back at the Burning Couch podcast. I think we've done like 3 in a row, which is kind of a record for us. I'm a guy. I used to be on the radio a lot and did podcasts, and I do podcasts, and that's about it for me. I am not an athlete. My name is Matty Staudt. The guy I'm looking at is an athlete. This man crushed it for WVU, crushed it in the NFL. He even went up to Toronto and said, "I'm going to crush it up here, Canadians. Take that with your bacon." Steve Slaton, how are you?
I'm doing well, Matthew, man. Thanks for that beautiful intro, man. It's a great one.
I worked hard on it. I did. I was working on it all week. I went into ChatGTP and started getting some notes and everything. If you're new to this show, welcome. First, let me say that. We've been around a while. This is show's almost 10 years old. Started with Pat White and myself. Steve joined maybe 5 months in. So Steve and I have been doing the show together with Pat for a long time. Pat now is in NFL coaching, doing stuff. He's not allowed to do anything. And we'll get him back on one of these days.
Very time-consuming things.
He's very time-consumed right now. Very time-consumed. But on the show, we, even though Steve played, we don't claim to be experts. We just talk about things and usually have a guest on. A lot of times we'll get some of the guys Steve played with, some other guys along the way. Tony Caridi was on last week. This week, our guest is nobody because sometimes we just don't like to have a guest, so we can just do what we want. We don't have a producer today.
Well, how about we ask the people? How about we ask the people who they want and see if we can get them on? I think that might be a fun deal to have a bag of people who the people want to listen to.
This is something you need to do. Make this a tweet. I need you to do more organic tweets, Steve Slaton. What's your Twitter so everybody knows?
You don't send me the links.
No, but you can. Okay, I'll send you the links. But this one you can do on your own. I can
do this one on my own.
You got this one. How do people find that tweet?
Well, you're going to find that tweet on Twitter, on Elon's new Twitter, I guess, at Steve23Slaton.
I will retweet, and so will the Burning Couch Pod, at Burning Couch Pod. You'll never remember mine. Okay, so big show today. We've got to talk a fun quote from Bobby Huggins. We always like to do that. We're going to also talk about our schedule for next year. Tough. And we're going to kick off the show playing a clip from your friend, my kind of sort of acquaintance, Pat Mcafee. Too big for either one of us. Biggest man on the planet right now. Pretty much owns all media. And then PACMAN was on with him. I wanted you to set this up for me a little bit. What is the relationship with everybody with PACMAN? And, he's had some issues and things over the past, but still strong, still, West Virginia guys stick together.
He's definitely, I think, a true representation of what Mountaineers, just a guy that, get it out the mud is going to fight. I mean, he's had past things, but he's gotten over them. But I think he's a beautiful example of what perseverance is and being a true Mountaineer and giving back and, still supporting the school. So I think with this clip of them talking, it's pretty much West Virginia sound like they're ready to compete. And it's not just compete with athletes, but it's getting the athletes, putting their money in their pocket to have them look out to be a Mountaineer.
So we talked a little bit about this last week with Tony Caridi, and then Tony and I have talked about this as well, just as far as like he's, I've found out how much NIL money some players on other basketball teams got this year, and it would blow your effing mind. I mean, you can literally play college, retire. You can. So I didn't realize how involved PACMAN was with the school, which is good. The school needs to have him involved. They need to have you involved. They need to have Pat involved. They need to have Pat Mcafee involved. They need to have Tavon Austin involved. Like, we know the list of players who actually can help the program, whether raise funds, just come down and just remind people they went to West Virginia. But I didn't know PACMAN was so involved. Did you know he was getting involved with the school?
Not in the sense he was, but I think it's on the right tilt. Just as like we spoke last week, Rasheed Marshall joining with I think player development in that position. So I think those guys to where the Mountaineer fans of old and know who these people are and can see that these guys care and still want to be around.
So I'm going to start playing this clip. I'm going to stop it at certain points because I want to talk about it. But it's from the Pat Mcafee Show. If you don't watch it, he's got a couple producers. So if you hear some voices that aren't Pat or PACMAN, it's one of the producers. But I have a feeling most of the people that listen to our show probably dibble and dabble. I'm sure there's a few hardcores out there that are like, I only listen to the Burning Couch. I don't care about anything else. That would be maybe Miguel Sanchez, but I know he does. He cheats on us all the time. I think he flirts with the final forecast.
I think Miguel's just a West Virginia faithful through and through. So he's going to whatever if it has WE on it, he's going to dibble and dabble in it.
And I think that's most people. Let's see here. So let me start this clip.
I'm not. This is actually like when I saw this. Now I'm kind of like slinking down in my seat a little bit.
West Virginia has money right now, bro.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to say.
Really,
PACMAN has kind of explained to me how things because he has, a lot closer to the situation than I have been. Yeah. Even though somebody hand delivered us letters from Morgantown a week ago, broke into the place to do this whole thing.
I want to stop there. And by the way, Steve, if you need me to stop, just raise your hand. I can't believe they're glossing over that. What happened? Does anybody know the truth? What happened with this story? What West Virginia fan hand-delivered letters and broke in to get them to Pat Mcafee?
Somebody out there. Miguel might have been doing the driving.
I don't know. I mean, I've had listeners do weird shit. Leave stuff on my car, threaten to kill me, show up in my house, all kinds of fun stuff. But I got to say, I don't think anybody ever broke in to my studio and hand delivered me a couple letters. Like, nope, never got that. I just thought that was a funny little aside.
I think
Kellogg's a dog.
Yes, he's a dog. I read.
Can I ask a question? Do you know the answer to this? Is a dog a good thing? I think it's a good thing.
Oh, it's a great thing to have it because it's like, put it this way: when a dog wants a bone, is he going to stop going for that bone?
Nope.
Yeah. So it's a dog is that hey, when you turn it on, it's like okay. And when a dog chases a car, chase the mailman, he ain't stopping until he gets it. So that's what the dog is.
Okay. So he's a dog.
Internet report. This guy's a dog.
And by the way, they're talking about the new women's basketball coach, and all I've seen is West Virginia fans complaining about the guy because that's all they want to do. But evidently, he's a dog.
West Virginia has access to money, and this is as this NIL thing goes, like this is what's going to happen. Not that West Virginia was irrelevant, kind of, though. It had become pretty irrelevant. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that has kind of happened. And that's what's going to happen when you go to the Big 12. And the Big 12 has like all this tradition and history. So they're obviously going to market those schools. And if you're not winning in those things, they're not going to take time to push your school.
No.
So West Virginia and Big 12, I don't think has been a good fit at all.
Okay. Let me rewind that. Steve, had you thought about us as being irrelevant lately?
I feel it's hard to say just from the eras before me, during me, then right after to where, it's still arguably Tavon Austin has arguably the greatest highlight tape in college football. So I think that era of when we were in Big 12 is forgotten. But, I live in Houston, live in Texas. I'm not seeing West Virginia stuff. So I understand what that market is. Like, even, you're going to see all the West Virginia stuff in West Virginia, closer back. So yeah, it's not many things of, like I said, I live pretty much in, say, Big 12 country. So yeah.
Yeah, and I would say we have, just based on our performance. We when I went to school, we were a top 25 team. We were a top 25 team in the 80s or late 80s, and yeah, we've never gone very long without being a top 25 team, and this has been
yeah. Really, yeah, it's like even like when school, we were top 10 school, even top 5 at times. So it's hard to beat. That's what for our games, we were at that point in time, we were the most watched Thursday night games. Every Thursday, we would break our own record of the most watched game to watch. So we don't, if we're not having those type of numbers every week or Saturday. Remember, for a long time, we didn't play any night games. It seemed like we got all day games or 12 o'clock, 10 a.m. games, and fans don't want to see that.
Well, I'll be straight. Our fans get too drunk for night games. That is a fact. I mean, it has been a fact since forever. We don't know how to pace ourselves. That is a classic West Virginia trait. That's, it's part of why people love us and hate us. But anyway, so and he talked about like how we, they don't market West Virginia, of course. And I thought about it. It's like whenever you see those Big 12 ads, yeah, we're in there, but we're never featured. We're never the first clip you see. It's always Texas or Oklahoma. So what I'm wondering, Pat, I'm calling you Pat now. By the way, if you go back and listen to old podcasts, I called Steve Pat 100 times before. So this is the first time I've done it in a long time. So Steve, I'm wondering with all these new schools coming in, and I'm hearing rumors the Pac-12 deal for TV is not happening. So that means we're going to pick up probably some Pac-12 teams. Do you think that will help raise us? Because there's so many other schools now who aren't part of the original tradition of the Big 12.
Yeah. Well, I think like with any team, any sports team, you see it through women's college, basketball, any sport you pick, you need somebody to be marketable. That I think that's one of the biggest thing is that you need a player that's marketable to where kids want to be that person and want to watch the game. So I think that deals with a lot of marketability is that these schools in the Big 12 have had somebody that's marketable. So,
yeah,
it's a big thing. And, hey, man, being top 25 does help out a very lot.
And let's be honest. We got a whole bunch of fans because of Pat White, Steve Slaton, not only because you guys invented, like, we're just every night on SportsCenter with plays, but also that video. I mean, the video game timing was really good for us because I don't meet somebody who's a millennial who doesn't tell me they played as West Virginia all the time when they played that video game.
And that's how you get talents to school too, to where a lot of kids, they idolize somebody. It's like, oh, I want to be like them. I don't go to that school. So it's like we haven't had a player to trying to be emulated from somebody else coming just because, hey, this person here, this is what this does. Because for the longest time we were a running back school. We were RBU, touchdown city.
Might be again this year. All right, let's continue the clip.
Personally, outside looking in, nobody over there. Travel, marketing, exposure, everything. I just don't know if it has been necessarily a good move, but I do know that
we're gonna be all right.
NIL coming. We got money now.
Yeah, we got money, and we got a new AD. Mr. Baker I had a chance to meet him when I was
Before
there.
you start talking about Ren Baker, I didn't know we had money. Like, we have money? I mean, I still don't understand where that's coming from because I kind of know a little bit about how this trust thing works and how it's being run, and it's kind of weird. But I don't know. PACMAN said we got money.
Yeah, I think boosters, boosters definitely help, but I think one of the biggest things about it is where we're at too. So where the money comes from is that, hey, is there a lot of money in West Virginia? What is West Virginia ranked to market commercial wise to you're going to get a player to have you buy something that's what you want to be. Like, say the BJ Robinson, I think he had a Canes deal. People love praising Canes, so they go there. So it's just like those little things of where money comes from and what type of money is going to be. So, I mean, if it's just nil, like kind of like contract wise, not endorsements, things like that, I think it'll be beneficial.
Well, they're doing something and they're raising money. And, you know, my worry is that there's only so many people with money who are West Virginia alumni, at least who are, you know, known, you know, the bigger ones, and they can only give so much. Now, that being said, there are a lot of West Virginia University graduates who don't probably contribute. I know some folks in tech who are doing quite well, and I know that they're also boosters. But I mean, we got to go after that. Hey, man, you played in the NFL. Guys like that who, especially if they've got their own financial, like, who's our boy that's doing very good with finance and everything. Okay, that's gonna kill me. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, let's continue.
Unbelievable guy, and talked about the different things that we're trying to do to get us
run the
back
Hall
at
of Fame.
the top. So
No, not David Baker, Ren Baker.
I thought it was Dave.
we got some big money
would've
coming
got
in.
every
You know,
recruit in
and
the world.
you got to pay.
We're
to
not
play.
the only school, by the way.
You got to pay to play. Y'all know how it is.
Yep. Angel
And
Reese.
I just think this year, with
That's the quote that got all over the place. You got to pay to play.
And you see, that's
Right?
what
Wrong?
there's been a lot of talk from even with the North Carolina kid, the quarterback, that he's trying to be poached. They're offering like millions of dollars to be poached to play away. So it's really, I mean, you really don't know from a guy, even though he's a 5-star recruit, you don't know until you see him in action. And I feel like that's going to be one of those things to where pay to play, be able to swoop in with players because, hey, here's the number we're going to give you. And somebody else might not give you that number.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The bigger schools, and by the way, if you guys hearing things in the background, it's Steve's wife. She's talking and he can't get her to be quiet. And I've said, make your wife be quiet, and he won't do it. I'm just kidding. He would never say that. I might say it, but yeah. Anyway, so with the thing is, so the bigger schools that have more money, which I always wonder, like, you know, Alabama, they have boosters. You know, that's what, because there's nothing really going on in Alabama. But the players, they're spending money early. They're saying, hey, you're guaranteed this to come to this school. So if those players wash out, they're out that money. I think we're in a place to really grab the guys who are playing very well at another school, want a little bigger stage, and we can offer them a nice package, and they'll come here instead of going to any other number of schools who are in our position. So
try it and test it. I feel like that's what, I think that's probably our best benefit is to, you know, see where you're at and see if it would be beneficial to have you instead of, I mean, like I said, Texas A&M last year had the most. I think they had like $32 million in like nil money or something like that for boosters they raised. So hey, we ain't gonna have that, but we got enough to say, hey, we like how you playing. Your team sucks a little bit. You're not doing well. Come over here. We'll set you up pretty proper.
all right, here's a little more.
all the stuff that I've learned the last month and a half, 2 months, we're rounding up funds to pay to play. So that's good.
I like that a lot. You know, because the schools that are in areas, that baby Ren.
Damn.
Scott came from Stephen F. Austin.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, so that's why he brought
He's a dog.
Clark Kellogg.
Is that where Clark Kellogg's from?
Yeah, his record was just up there. The guy fucking doesn't lose. He does win.
He does lose anytime he's in the NCAA tournament, though. He's never won past the first round. So let's just, I'm going to clear that up. I'm all supporting the guy.
Yeah, my thing, too, is getting better talent.
That's what the West Virginia fans have complained about.
Well, I mean,
I think the guy's going to be awesome.
From Jam Street Media.